now tuned in to Community Conversations with the Source LA. I'm your host, Rocsii Woo, and today we have a special guest representing the fastest growing city in the nation. Welcome, Mayor Butts.
Welcome to the City of Champions.
Thank you. So the community has been talking about some pressing issues involving school closures across IUSD. Oftentimes we do allow social media to be our only outlet, viewing, clips and small articles that may not always be truthful. And so I wanted to take the opportunity to speak with you directly to educate the community.
I think that's a good idea.
Awesome. So let's just get into it. There is a perception among a few that there is a lack of appropriate prioritization in spending public funds. What is your take on that?
Most people don't understand what public funds are meant to do. They're basically meant to do four things: renew the infrastructure of a city, provide for public safety, to provide an environment for economic development, and to provide parks and recreational activities for youth, seniors, and adults. That's what public funds are for. And here in the city of Inglewood, we've done a great job of renewing our infrastructure, our streets and roads. We've redone more lane miles of roadway, more linear feet of sidewalk in the last 7 years than the prior 35 years combined. The crime rate over the last 13 years is the lowest average in the history of crime in the city of Inglewood. Unemployment rate has dropped from 17.5% to 5% as of January 2024. That's that economic development quotient. So we've really prioritized the increase in our general fund that's resulted from all this sports and entertainment we brought to benefit the residents.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can attest to that. There has been a lot of jobs that you guys have been putting out. You guys have been filling a lot of positions in the city, so we definitely do thank you for that. And I think it was really important for the community to know and understand how that works, right? Because like I said, we see these clips on social media, they go viral, and people just run with it. So thank you for that. Over the last 2 decades, enrollments across the district has dropped from 18,000 students to under 7,000 students. What impact does this have on the district's ability to fund all of the school campuses?
Most people don't know that schools are funded by the state of California from property taxes that are collected throughout the state of California. And they're distributed by a formula called ADA, Average Daily Attendance.
Okay.
There's a certain amount, last I knew it was around $3,800 per student, that's allocated for every student that attends a school district. So if you go from 17,000 at an ADA and you go down to less than 7,000, you've lost 2/3 of your funding. Now, what happens is you have a district that has maybe 19, 20 some campuses, and you're trying to fund 19, 20 some campuses with average daily attendance funding for 1/3 of that. And if you don't downsize the district, then what is going to happen? You're going to downsize the quality of education that these children are going to get. You're going to downsize the programs, the extracurricular programs that are available to children, and you're going to downsize the ability to maintain and renew the infrastructure of the school district. And so that's what's happened over the last 12 years. No one made the tough decisions that we made when I came into the city of Inglewood, and we were about to go bankrupt. And if you don't do that, then you won't have a platform to build from and make a desirable district that will attract students back into your district.
Right. I did notice that around the pandemic, a lot of students didn't return back to school. And so I know that I was speaking about that on the platform a lot, as far as we got to get our kids back into school. And so thank you for that. I appreciate, that answer. How can the community remain informed about ongoing and future developments within the school district?
Well, one thing you can do, they have parent-teacher association meetings. They have school board meetings where the board and the county administrator talk about the status of the district and plans. And they also, the IUSD has a website where they post all the messages that are really pertinent for parents to read and have that knowledge of.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually a part of my son's school site council, so they do actually go over a lot. So just to kind of piggyback on what I said earlier, I feel like a lot of the community, they have all these concerns and they hop on social media and they voice all these opinions about what's going on. But to my understanding, this has been in development for some time now. So this isn't something new, right?
This problem started to manifest itself sometime around 2011.
Right.
And people are now interested because it's actually been announced the district is doing what it needed to do long ago.
Right.
They're downsizing their school plants to match the ADA money that's coming into the district.
Right. What is your opinion on the steps being taken by the current leadership of the IUSD to stabilize and improve the learning experience for the children that remain in the district?
That's a fascinating question. In the time I've been the mayor, there have been 7 interim superintendents, as it were, some appointed by the state, a couple appointed by the county. This particular county administrator, Dr. James Morris, is the first of all the interims to do the tough things, to financially right-size the district so that there will be funds, so there will be opportunities to increase the quality of the learning experience, to increase the performance of the students that remain, so that the district can reach a state of equilibrium, of balance, and then do things to make more attractive the Inglewood Unified School District experience.
I think that is something that a lot of the parents are, asking. I know a lot of people are on my social media wondering where are their kids going to go to school and what's going to happen. So I'm glad that he actually stepped up to do that. So let's elaborate a little bit more. Say I'm a parent and my child is about to be displaced from school. What am I to do next?
Well, the school district has very concrete plans that they are going to post on their website. So if you have a child and you're used to your child walking 1-2 blocks to school and that school's being closed, there are going to be transportation alternatives. If the distance is too great, they're going to try and place your child in a school that is as close as possible to the school that they're used to attending. Things are going to be different, but they're not going to be impossible. And I would heartily recommend that you go to school board meetings, that you attend PTA meetings, that you look at the IUSD website and be informed, because your child's welfare depends on it.
Yes, thank you for that. Are there any plans for the city to engage in educational partnerships with IUSD?
Absolutely. As it turns out, of the 2 high schools, Morningside and Inglewood, Morningside will be closed, and Inglewood will be the high school for the city. There'll be a significant amount of money put into the rehabilitation and renovation of Inglewood High. Now, fortunately, Inglewood High School is right across the street from the main library in Inglewood. We're about to invest somewhere between $55 and $60 million in renovating this library that opened in the early 70s. But what we want to do is we want to make it an innovation center that incorporates the concept of artificial intelligence, robotics, 3D modeling, the things that will give our students in Inglewood an opportunity to come out of school ahead of the game. And also, because it is right across the street from Inglewood High, we hope to build a bridge across from the library to the school, so the library, in effect, becomes part of the campus, part of the learning experience. Now, that's something we can do as a city, because we're, by law, we cannot spend city funds on another entity any more than we could spend money on making the lines at the DMV shorter, or make the postal service deliver your mail faster. But what we can do is take a city function and make it school friendly. And that's one of the things we intend to do.
I really like that. I know over the course of the last 2 summers, we've seen an increase in children kind of hanging out in areas and making some of the adults feel a little bit uncomfortable, and there's been a lot going on. So I think that being able to have a safe space for the children to actually, come to be together, but not only be together, but also learn is really awesome. The kids need a place to go.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Rocsii, Inglewood has a robust recreation program like no other in any other city. We have a a tennis program. It's taught by an organization called 40 Love, and the city is one of the investors so that we subsidize it so that low-income families can spend $35 a month and have their children trained by former Olympic competitors and can go and compete in tournaments in Brentwood. We've spent over $1 million to build an artificial turf football field and soccer field adjacent to one another at Edward Vincent Park for our leagues. The Dodgers and their Dreamfield program have partnered with the city, and we've renovated 3 baseball diamonds in our parks. We have a pump track now in Edward Vincent Park. We spent $1.6 million on Ash Park to add tennis courts and pickleball courts in North Park. So we have opportunities like no 9 square mile city could ever dream of.
Yeah, sounds like a lot. Now I got to do some homework so I can get this information out to the community to let them know, because I do have a lot of, single parents and mothers and fathers that do reach out to me because their kid just doesn't have anywhere to go, so they think, but they do. So thank you for that, and I will be putting that information out. So Mayor, online, you've received a lot of criticism. Some people think the city is responsible for funding and managing the schools. Is that true?
That's absolutely untrue. We no more manage or fund the school district than we do the Department of Motor Vehicles, the U.S. Post Office, or other governmental entities. The school district is a separate governmental entity funded by the state of California. And they have their own management board, the Inglewood Unified School District Board. And then they have usually a school superintendent. Right now it's under the aegis of the county, so there's a county administrator. And so we have nothing to do with the decisions that are made as it pertains to managing and operating the school district.
That's some really important information because, like I said, there's been a lot of talks on social media, so I'm so glad we were able to clear that up. So, Mayor, people also believe the sports teams and stadiums should finance the school district. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, what most people don't take into consideration is that the entities that build arenas, stadiums, run professional sports teams, when they relocate as they did here, they have a pro forma. The city of Inglewood invested nothing in the construction of these multi-billion-dollar structures. The performance, which is the business plan for these buildings, their return on investment, where they have a positive cash flow from it, where they paid off their investment and they start making money, is sometimes 15, 16 years out. Right. And so they're a business. Now, where they do contribute to the schools is they've raised the property values in Inglewood. Since 2011, property values have tripled here. What does that mean? Property taxes have tripled. What funds schools? Property taxes. Also, they do things voluntarily, like rebuild fields like at Sentinel Field, redo weight rooms, buy basketball and football jerseys and equipment for the schools. But they don't directly fund or subsidize average daily attendance money because that couldn't be expected. But what they have done by their mere presence, they've tripled the money available to the state of California from Inglewood Properties. Help to. I like to feel we had a lot to do with it as well. And so they do contribute by being here.
That's an important point. Property taxes do fund schools.
Absolutely.
I like that. That's really good information, and I'm really excited to let people know because I keep getting that question, and I'm glad to be able to clear that up. All right, Mayor, is there anything else you want people to know?
Yeah, well, we really haven't talked about one of the big keys, housing, and one of the things people have, the misunderstanding is that because we have elevated as a community that Inglewood is not an affordable place for people to live. Nothing could be further than the truth. We've been building affordable housing since 1969. Over 60% of the affordable housing units that have opened in the 13 years that I've been mayor. We have more affordable housing per capita and in whole numbers than anywhere in the South Bay. We have the lowest average rents of anywhere in the South Bay. We recently, 5 years ago, passed an ordinance that capped rents at 3% per year. That's the most strict rent control cap in the state of California. While property values have tripled, we've created an environment so that the people that were here during the worst of times can stay with us during the best of times. And we're very proud of that. And the last thing I want to leave you with is the only thing that's changed in Inglewood is everything.
I like that. So this was really important to me because I felt like I needed to bring this truth and this news to the community. Oftentimes, there's so much going on online. People are going viral, and then we're just seeing clips of things. Here's what I would advise you to do. Do your own research for yourself. Thank you for tuning in to Community Conversations with the Source LA.